All right, we got another VTuber video. Let's go. Ironmouse is leaving VShojo. I can only imagine why. This gonna be some crazy shit. 842K views. Oh, this gonna be some crazy shit. All right, let's check this out.
I am leaving VShojo.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, I recently found out that for the past couple of months, I have been misled by VShojo. With
Okay.
the information
What
that I
happened?
currently have, I believe that I am owed a significant amount of funds,
Of course.
which I have not been paid.
Of
And
course.
most importantly, the thing that hurts me the most is that the Immune Deficiency Foundation, which is the most important charity to me, and also the reason why I'm here today,
Please don't tell me they stole
is
money from
owed
the
over
charity.
$500,000 from
Damn.
VShojo. I know that this is a lot, and it's very
They stole
important for
from
me
charity?
to be honest with all of you.
Oh lord.
I really want to tell you everything, but unfortunately, right
Mm-mm.
now, I have been instructed by my attorney
Lawyer. Keep
to
it low
wait
key.
for more of the legal procedure to unfold. So one day, I will be able to tell you the full story.
Hmm.
But for now, I just need to let you know that I will no longer be a part of VShojo. If you give me a
Okay.
moment of your time, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. I know for a lot of people right now that this might be the first time you're ever watching me. I became a VTuber because I really wanted to make friends. I was very lonely due to the fact that I have a primary immune deficiency disease called CVID. I basically have a low to near non functioning immune system,
It's crazy
which means I
dangerous.
get sick a lot,
Real
and it
easily,
caused
man.
me to
It's so
remain
sad.
isolated for long periods of my life. So then I found streaming, and I thought about giving it a try because I wanted to see if I could make some friends online because I honestly couldn't ever leave my room. I never really expected to grow an audience or anything. It was one
Just
of the
for
last
fun.
things on my mind. I just thought that I would stream to, 5 to 10 people and just hang out from time to time, make some friends, play games, and just continue on with my life. But unfortunately, I was too scared to stream with my face.
Normal.
So a friend of mine recommended that I try an app called FaceRig that would allow me to use an anime avatar to stream, and that's how I started VTubing. It took me a while to take it seriously and even begin to think about maybe being able to grow a community and even make this a career. I think I really started to take it seriously around the time when I was approached to join VShojo, and it was through VShojo that I was able to grow into the Iron Mouse that I am today. When I was approached in 2020 and asked to join VShojo, it seemed like a good idea, but I honestly did not know if I could ever be a corporal VTuber because I felt like I just couldn't. In my mind, I saw myself as unhireable, which is
Hmm.
why streaming worked for me. I had no boss, no strict rules, I had no hours, no expectations. It was all up to me, and due to the fact that I have lived my life chronically ill and being unable to do much of anything, I just felt like there was no way that anyone would ever take me or want me. For a
Hmm.
while, I was struggling to make a decision because I was afraid about my anonymity
Yes.
and afraid about trusting people
That is so
because
important.
I felt like every time I put my trust in people, it always ends in grief for me.
Damn.
So I was worried about expectations and a million and one other things. But I ultimately decided to join VShojo. It really pains me that I am unable to fully explain why I am leaving,
For sure. Legal
but for
issues.
right
Too
now,
many
here's
people,
what
too
I
many
am
money.
allowed to share with you.
Okay.
I would always be told how important I was for the company, and I was always told that I was needed in order for the company to succeed. Although that was very positive to hear, it put a lot of pressure and a lot of stress on me to the point where I felt guilt tripped
Mm.
into signing. I felt responsible
Really?
for
Uh-oh.
everybody.
Uh-oh.
I felt responsible for staff and talent alike. And I felt like if I didn't do this and if I
Uh-oh.
didn't stay,
Oh
I
shit.
was hurting everybody
Oh shit.
and I was destroying everybody's life.
So this is why I keep saying like, oh crap, bro, because with whenever somebody says they felt like they were being coerced into signing some type of contract, bro, that's when legally, bro, it gets messy. And it always ends up with like a he said, she said, because we're involving feelings. Now we have to go back, okay, what was said during these meetings, during these conferences? Because I remember Iron Mouse constantly would have some time where she was saying she wants to leave or she felt like she was going to leave and then she ended up staying or renewing the contract. She always has something going on with her contract, specifically her. So to hear that she felt like she was being guilt tripped into staying in VShojo is a absolute red flag due to the history of her constantly having to look at her contract again or renegotiate. You know, from the outside looking in, maybe it seems like, you know, she's getting more of a fan base, she's streaming more hours, maybe she should just get more money. But now it's deeper than that. It's deeper than money. It's she didn't want to be there and it felt like she had to be there because she had so much responsibility. But in all honesty, like the hard part is like and what makes it so legally tricky, and I want to phrase this properly for a lot of people watching so they can kind of get their head wrapped around it. Nobody is really forcing Iron Mouse to stay. Like nobody has a gun to her head and says you have to stay here. But there is such thing as emotional manipulation. And boy, oh boy, unless you have like text or screenshots or voice notes, voice recordings, it is so legally tricky to say go to a judge and say, yeah, I felt like I wanted to leave, but somebody was keeping me there. And like legitimately, there have been several cases where you know either the person that is saying they're being not necessarily forced to stay, but it feels like they have to stay. There's been times where they have won their cases, and there's been times where they lost, and there's been more times that they just ended up settling out of court. Because at the end of the day, sure, Gun Run or whoever was in charge of the contracts or negotiations, sure, they might have said some words that made it feel like she had to do something maybe she felt like she didn't want to do. That being said, she wasn't being forced to really stay there. And at the same time, you could even argue for VShojo's position that, hey, they didn't, they weren't purposefully, you know, emotionally manipulating her. They were just saying how they felt, and they felt like maybe Iron Mouse should stay because Iron Mouse is almost like the mascot of VShojo, bro. Like she has won Streamer of the Year, she's been VTuber of the Year, right? Iron Mouse as a brand, as an icon for VShojo is like that girl. She is the cash cow. So of course, VShojo isn't gonna want to just let her go. That being said, if they really do have some type of like actual emotions for her, you know, it's easy to say something like, "Oh, Iron Mouse, we're gonna miss you so much," blase, blase, and that could be enough for Iron Mouse to feel like maybe she has to stay. And that's why it's so tricky, man. It's absolutely going to be one interesting case. You know, at the end of the day, this is hopefully going to stay within their behind closed doors. Like what I'm saying is, of course, a speculation, but it is like the most neutral type of speculation I could say because we don't know. As the viewers, as the audience, we have no clue what's going on behind closed doors. All we have is the content creators' opinions. And even if multiple of the girls' opinions line up, VShojo and like the opinions and their track record. You guys remember the Nux video we did a long time ago, or just the Nux videos in general talking about VShojo? There's been time where VShojo has sided with one thing and then the girls complained and then the company retracted their agreement and they were siding with their content creators, even if technically speaking the content creators were in the wrong or they had they thought it was something when it really wasn't. So already the track record between VShojo, the livers, and like outside perspective is already murky. And to have someone come out and say, hey, I felt like maybe I needed to stay, I already know it's probably a shit show online. I already know it's probably a shit show. That being said, all we have is their opinions, and remember to just accept it for what it is, not for what it could be, not for what you think it could be. We're just listening, and I'm just saying this because I'm making the damn video. Like, to be honest, bro, if I was like a person that's just a viewer, you're just a supporter, you're just a fan, you know, you watch it, you listen to it, and you just support the liver. That's it. You just support the liver, and you just take that stance, that grounded stance. I'm going to support my Oshi. But as me as the video guy, I have to say like both sides, because there's a absolute chance that maybe VShojo didn't mean any malicious harm, and it was just a mess up or a miscommunication, or it could actually be something that's damning. So it's definitely a hard situation to be in. Let's continue the video.
But this didn't feel right with me, and I began to feel extremely uncomfortable. As my
Yikes.
viewers know, privacy has always been one of my biggest concerns. I've had a lot of scary experiences in my life, so one amazing thing
Absolutely.
for me was the fact that VShojo handled all my payments, and it meant that I never had to give out any of my personal information, so that was
I see
always
the
a
issue.
blessing to me. As time went on, I decided that I wanted
Oh
to
no.
try to start pulling out my remaining funds because I wanted to start taking over my own finances.
Good
This
idea.
is what led me
Always a
to
good
this
idea.
point. Throughout
Always
the
a good
years,
idea.
Connor and I have raised around $4 million for
Damn.
the Immune Deficiency Foundation.
W.
The majority of the money raised is through Tiltify at events like the Cyclothon, the charity auction,
Shout
and
out to
other
Japan.
miscellaneous events that we've had. However, because of the success of my first subathon, I decided to donate half the earnings of my following two subathons to the Immune Deficiency Foundation.
Oh
The first
sweet.
time I tried this, it worked great. Over 200,000 people supported me, and because of that, we raised over $329,350 to the Immune Deficiency Foundation. Because the money came from my Twitch revenue instead of a Tiltify link, it
Mm,
required VShojo to make the donation on my behalf. They
okay.
promptly sent the payment, and the subathon was a huge success. So I decided to do it again the next year. My last subathon was one of the biggest events I've ever done.
Period.
The support was overwhelming, and I ended up getting over 300,000 subscribers and breaking the all time sub record. But this also meant that we had raised $515,000 for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. I once again asked VShojo to make the donation on my behalf, but unfortunately,
Uh
still a year later, VShojo has not paid the charity.
oh.
The Immune Deficiency
Oh.
Foundation means the world to
Oh.
me. Connor and I have both spent a ton of energy, time, and resources raising money for charity, and we're both so proud to be able to say that we've raised nearly $4 million for
That's
charity.
amazing.
We almost always raise money for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. They help people with primary immune deficiency diseases, or PI, which are inherited disorders where a part of the body's immune system is missing or doesn't function properly, which makes people like me more prone to infection. And this includes over 450 different conditions. The Immune Deficiency Foundation
Wow, that is a lot of
is a
conditions.
charity that is near and dear to my heart and has a particular significance in my life. When my
Absolutely.
health first started getting really bad, the Immune Deficiency Foundation helped me immensely
Now
when
you're giving
I
back.
really had nowhere else to turn.
Mm.
I was terrified, I was lonely, and I was confused. I honestly didn't really know what was going on, and I never ever want anyone else to go through that. This entire situation has broken me. I just wanted to do something good and to give back to a community that helped me, but unfortunately, that's not the case. As much as I would like to continue to talk about this, unfortunately, I can't. So, to recap, I believe that I am owed a significant amount of funds, which I have not been paid, And most importantly, the Immune Deficiency Foundation is owed over $500,000 from VShojo.
Shit, man. And it's been over a year, so now you have to start asking the question, where is the money? And then that's when you start looking at receipts, you start looking at purchases, you start doing audits. Oh, brother, it's gonna be a crazy show.
I really wish that I could tell you more, but right
Nope.
now, I have been advised to wait for
Good
legal
idea.
proceedings. As of right now, I am an independent VTuber. I am at a loss of what to do right
Okay.
now. I'm kind of
Cool.
processing everything.
Indeed.
I'm very sad and very confused.
Yeah.
Once again, I want to apologize to the Immune Deficiency Foundation and to my community who has shown so much support to me. I also wanted to say that all the ad money made from this video
It's
will
going to
go
the
towards the Immune
charity.
Deficiency Foundation.
Yep.
I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. Like I said, I really haven't had much time to process this.
Yeah.
But below the video in the description box is a link to a donation fund for the Immune Deficiency Foundation.
Support.
Thankfully, any donations made through Tiltify go directly to the charity. That link is also there if you've heard about this and would like to support the Immune Deficiency Foundation. Sometime this month, I plan on doing a special live stream in order to raise money for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. I hope to have a ton of friends joining me, and hopefully there'll be a lot of singing and a lot of fun and just a day full of happiness. I just honestly really want to show that after all of this, that VTubing is a force for good. So thank you guys so much for all the support, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. And once again, I want to say that I am truly sorry. Okay. Bye bye.
Okay. So there's a lot to break down in this situation. Because now that this has happened, of course, everybody is going to be looking at the other livers, and of course, people are going to want their opinions, their takes. Also, any other VShojo liver that has done charity and donations, has their donations been sent in? Has it taken a year? Is there a backlog? Who knows, right? Who really knows? But it doesn't look good at all. And to have your biggest liver just leave is also something that is crazy. So, this is the only thing I'll say on Ironmouse leaving, because she has a contract. I don't know if she just cut her contract and left. If she did, obviously you could just cut your contract. VShojo could sue if they wanted to. But they have an absolute PR nightmare on their hands. So if they sue Ironmouse, they're going to look even worse than what they look like now. And that's already a bad situation. So if anything, there needs to be a public announcement. Where did the funds go? Why did it take so long? Apologies, absolutely, because people want VShojo's nuts. They want them chopped off and hanged on a wall, say this is what happens when you mess with Ironmouse. And at this point in time, I have no idea what's gonna happen. So just definitely keep me in the loop. I hate seeing stuff like this because it's nothing new, man. There's been several times where several companies have fucked over their artists, their talent. When I'm listening to this, I'm thinking about Hobson from Funk Volume. Some of you guys might not know who Hobson is, but back in the early 2000s, he was like one of the biggest internet rappers, and he was signed to a label called Funk Volume. But Funk Volume had multiple different talents underneath them. But apparently the CEO of Funk Volume was paying them for their shows. Of course, you're a musician, you go on tour, you go on shows, but they were taking some of that money and keeping it for themselves. And the way to hide it is they would have them, the Funk Volume artists, they would have them be at the gym. So they would have them like say, yeah, some of your money's gone because of the gym fitness program, because of the diets, because of blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, the artists didn't sign up to go to the fucking gym. They signed up to be musicians, and they signed up so they could have their music and go on tour. So where's the money? So if you say, yeah, you know, some of your money's tied up in these other assets that we forcefully give you, that's an easy way to try and sweep some extra stuff under the rug. That being said, I have no idea if VShojo was doing that, because as Ironmouse said, VShojo was paying from Ironmouse's Twitch account to donate the charity stuff. So they have access to her money. And if they wanted to sweep something, it's easy to do because Ironmouse ain't looking at her bank account. She's making a lot of money. She's making so much money, she's focused on projects. That's how you know you made it. When you're not checking your bank account so you can focus on creating more projects to give to the audience, that's when you know you definitely made it. And to have, of course, the company you work with handle your finances for you, there's of course a chance that somebody could get greedy. And human greed is inside a lot of humans. Okay, there are so many humans. They have a saying here in the Philippines, it's called being a crocodile. Okay, you just want so much money, you just eat everything up. And it's easy to get away with it if there's just so much money going around. Like you still, like say Ironmouse, she made $500,000. So you go ahead and give 200K to the whatever, you give 300K to her, but you take a little bit of that 300K, like say 10K, 20K, that's still a lot of money. $20,000 is a lot of money. But when you compare it to the 300K or the 200K, it's easier to just grab that. And that's absolutely disgusting. So I'm gonna end it here because my laptop's about to die. But yeah, let me know, of course, what you think down below. Try and keep it peaceful, not too crazy. You know, it is what it is. It involves money and involves famous people. So obviously, as the viewers, you're going to be a little bit more invested, and there's a lot of eyes and fingers pointing everywhere. But try and keep it neutral. Try and keep it constructive. And until next time, let me know what's going on, and I'll be checking this out as it, you know, unfolds if you guys send the videos. I love talking about stuff like this because it's real life shit and not just hee hee ha ha content. So I love this. We could talk about this all day. But until next time, I'll see you guys when I see you guys before this shit dies. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Bye.